Hi everyone, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron. I hope your social isolation is going pretty well. I wanted to talk about a deck list that I've been putting together in anticipation of a local Siege Block event that obviously has been canceled, unfortunately. But I was pretty proud of what I put together. I ran it a couple different ways and I had a lot of fun with it. And I figured I'd share it to anyone out there who might be playing some Transformers with their family. If you wanted to get in on some Siege Block. So, Siege Block, as described by the Vector Sigma team for their tournament they were planning, is all of the Siege 1 and Siege 2 cards, and then all of the new cards from the Soundwave vs. Blaster box set. All that together are the cards that you had available to build a constructed deck. Keeping that in mind, I was thinking about cards that wouldn't be available, such as grenade launchers, reckless charges, erratic lightnings, super charges, those sorts of cards that really helped big damage aggro teams boost up a ton and made healing kind of very inefficient, that you just couldn't heal for the amount of damage that was being put out. Those wouldn't be available. So I was thinking about a deck list that could take advantage of healing now that damage was getting slowed down in Siege Block. And here's what I came up with. My characters, in terms of healing, Specialist Ratchet was definitely going to be on there. He's a 414-0 in both, or 414 in alt mode, 314 in robot mode, 0 defense in both modes. And his thing is, when the game starts, you get a medic in your hand, which is nice. But then in bot mode, every time you heal, you get +1 for each damage healed. And this isn't on your characters, this just says when you repair damage. So if I repair damage on anyone, I get +1, which seems very, very nice. He doesn't have a lot of defense, but in the Siege Block format, I don't think that's a big deal because there's so much Pierce out there, defense doesn't really count for much. I'd rather just get as much health as possible. My other big character is Detritus, who's a mercenary who I played with a little bit in Constructed, but I'm getting a lot more fun out of him in the Siege Block format. He's a truck, he's ranged. When I flip to his alt mode as a 614-1, I can play a Black Pip, card which I've got plenty of. And then on the other side, his bounty ability, his attack goes up to 5, and when I do enough damage, attack damage to KO someone, I get to heal 3 damage from him. So if I ever got the opportunity for a swing turn, kill someone, heal 3 off of him, and now I'm swinging with 6 plus whatever other weapons I've got, which is super nice and a lot of fun when it goes off. The last character is Battlemaster Dazzlestrike. Not a lot of people, I think, pay much attention to her because she doesn't do a whole lot in regular Constructed. If you care, in bot mode, enemies can't use Brave, which can be nice sometime. But the big one is when she does die, if I've got damage elsewhere, I can attach her to Ratchet or Detritus. Sometimes the turns I can attach her to a Ratchet are awesome. Heal 3 damage off Ratchet. That gives Ratchet 6 attack, swinging with 9 without playing any additional cards. If I get to attach the Shadow Steel Ice Blade on my own turn, which is awesome. And that's the character setup. Now we can go into the battle cards a little bit. It's been tweaked a couple times. I actually don't know if in the current iteration I'm running any way to put her on my turn except for Quartermaster. Just because I found that the damage that I was doing on myself I wasn't getting a ton of value out of. But we'll go ahead and look at our battle cards. We're going to start out with our weapons. I am running orange-black here. It's a healing deck, but it's very aggro-focused. I'm not trying to slow damage down. I'm just trying to heal to get more attacks in if possible with the way damage is slowed down in the meta, and then gain buffs onto Ratchet if I can get a big swing with him. So I've got 2 combat daggers, which give me bold 1. I've got our disruptor blades, which are black pips, and I'm running enough black in this deck that so far in all the games I've tested, and I've tested a lot, I haven't actually had to discard a disruptor blade due to its effect. It's always been someone reprocessing me. I've got 3 sturdy javelins. Detritus usually lives long enough that I get value out of my sturdy javelins as ranged damage. If I don't get value out of them as ranged, I might play one early on just to give Dazzlestrike 5 attacks since she is melee. It doesn't happen a lot though. I've got 2 crowbars because they are double black pips. They're +2s. I generally only play them when I've got extra weapon slots, which I am running dual wield in here. And then I was running more Soldier's Blasters originally. Now I only run 1. I think just having 2 factions, it makes it an obvious green pip card. I'm usually able to get pretty good plays off my Soldier's Blaster. And this is the weapons I've got. There's 11 of them. I've been tweaking up and down a bit, running more combat daggers originally, less crowbars, but this is kind of the balance that I found in terms of the amount of damage I want to put out. And with 11 weapons, since there aren't treasure hunts or things in the game, I'm generally pretty okay finding the weapons I want when I need them. In terms of armor, I mentioned earlier, I don't really care about my defense. Instead, I'm running 2 increased durabilities, giving Ratchet or Detritus to getting them to 18 health, I think can be pretty nice when it happens. Otherwise, it's black pips, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I don't really care about increasing defense. With 0 defense here, or a max of 2 defense here, whatever blue pips and stuff I'm playing, if I'm lucky, I would get to 6 armor, which most Siege Block decks don't care about because they're swinging with 3 pierce or so. They don't care about the 6 armor all that much. In terms of utilities, I am running a good amount of utilities, which I think I might pare down or switch things out. I'm not sure. But right now, what I'm running are 2 pocket processors. It's the only real card draw that I have access to. It's what makes Jetfire so strong in Block, I think, because Jetfire has 5 card draw, essentially, a treasure hunt for 5, which is huge. But for my deck list, 2 pocket processors gets me the card draw I need. I'm also running a backup bag. Again, green pip to let me find it when I need it, and I can protect Shadowsteel Iceblade a little bit to prevent her from getting scrapped. If I can save her from a turn or 2 from getting scrapped, that's always super nice, so I avoid putting the 3 damage back on my guys. And the last one, I've been torn about this. I keep taking it out and putting it back in the deck. Right now it is in the deck, is Immersed in Shadow. The upgraded character has Stealth while untapped. Generally, this just lets me protect on the untap. When I'm my 2 guys, whoever has more damage on him, I'll play it on him and force them to start sinking attacks into the other guy if possible, buying me time to heal. I like it as a 2 of. I was running it as 3 because it's orange-black. I just found that it'd end up in my hand and then it'd kind of be a dead card, and I don't really want that. So right now as a 2 of, I think that's just fine. And that's it for my upgrades. So my deck leans a little bit into the action side. I mentioned it earlier. Ratchet lets me put a medic in my hand. I am running 1 medic. I don't need more than that. It's a repair 2, which is a pump 2 for Ratchet, which is nice. But it's a blank pip, and I don't think it really does much else outside of that. So that just goes with Ratchet at the beginning of the game, and then I play it when I need it. Oftentimes it'll stay in my hand for a little while, and I'll trade it for a green pip because I've got other heals that I prefer. In terms of other actions, Fight for Position, I was running as a 3 of. I might run it as a 3 of again. It's orange-black. Bold 2 is super nice. With the amount of orange-black I'm running in the deck, that's essentially 2 more damage. I get to run Opportune Repairs because I've got Detritus and Ratchet, and I'm running an Autobot and a Mercenary. +3 off of Ratchet is amazing. Sometimes I'll even heal Shadowsteel Blade. Not often. But healing 3 off Ratchet and then having him swing with +3 is just a wonderful turn to take when I get to take it. Wedge Formation is a 3 of as black, orange, green. I forgot. When Detritus is alive, this is my additional card draw, which I'm fine with. I get to heal a damage off Shadowsteel Blade. I don't really care about that, but I'll often use the plan ability since Ratchet is a specialist to plan 1 and get a little more damage out there. Because I am running a Mercenary, I am running Contact Contingency. Again, getting a heal off on a wheel turn, even if I don't get to kill someone, and a +2 pump is A-okay in this format. 3 Calculated Strikes. Again, it's 2 more damage when I get to play it as an action. And remember, all these black pip cards, I flip Detritus to this side, because once I flip Ratchet over, I don't need to flip him ever again. I flip Detritus to this side, and I can play these cards in addition to what I normally play in a turn, which I'm perfectly fine with. Same with Dual Wield. Like I mentioned before, Dual Wield double black pips gets me an extra weapon slot. Played on Detritus, I get to pull a weapon from my scrap pile. Having a Shadowsteel Iceblade and a RR Disruptor Blade or something to have him swinging for 11 in block, I think is great. I am running 3 reprocesses, which I think sometimes is a little high, but What's nice here is scrap an upgrade from a character, repair 2 damage from that character. That repair 2 happens regardless, but in this deck list, it says when I repair damage, it doesn't have to say on my characters. When I repair damage, I'm repairing 2 damage. If I'm scrapping, let's say, some sort of upgrade, scrap a weapon or a utility, maybe it's an energy pack, scrap the energy pack, get rid of 4 health. They heal for 2, but now Ratchet swinging +2 is just makes the trade more efficient, in my opinion. And the 40th card right now is Quartermaster. I was originally running less sturdy javelins, but I found that one Quartermaster with the cards that I have is all I need. Getting to play Shadow Steel's Ice Blade back onto Ratchet or Detritus on my turn, especially Ratchet, on my turn, healing him for 3, giving him a 9 swing, and then still possibly playing something else is a wonderful turn. Maybe flipping Detritus to get a calculated strike in there or something. This is a deck that I have played a good amount, and I've been pretty happy with it. I'd say the pitfalls that I've run into, there's just certain decks that can still out-aggro me, but the matchups that I've played against other orange-black decks, let's say the Off-Road Patrol, I can still win like half the time. It's really, this deck is prone to operator error. If you're not flipping Detritus at the right time, if you're not playing the right order to get the most out of your Ratchet swing, if you're not able to maneuver the attacks where you want them, then you lose. But I like the idea that it's a skill-intensive deck that needs that sort of piloting and maximizes the use of that sort of piloting. I've had a lot of fun with it. I highly recommend anyone to play around with it. Stuff that I've been thinking that I haven't really developed a sideboard. I'm still working on my base 40 cards. But things that I've been thinking about just in terms of energy pack, Detritus is 11 stars. I have thought a couple times about dropping one of my Into Shadows for an energy pack, giving him +4 as a possibility, and then with an increased durability, +8. That seems a little Christmas landy to me. I like increased durability just as a +4 for either one of them, and as a black pip, I think it has value in Siege Block. An orange pip does too, but I think black is just fine. The other one I've thought about is Point Defense System, reducing Pierce. But because my defense is so low, I found I was running this originally as an armor, 2 of. But I found that because I've chosen to not worry about my defense, Point Defense System just doesn't buy me anything. And then the last one that I was running originally, my only blue pips, Shoulder Holster I ran for a little while, but I just didn't get a ton of value out of it. The other one is War of Attrition. The idea to get 3 in hand, ping out 3 damage, heal someone for 3, and swing with Ratchet. It's another one of those things where the card draw just isn't there for me to get all 3 of them regularly. I find there are turns where I'd just rather play something else from my hand than pick up a War of Attrition after a combat swing. So those are things that I've thought about in this deck list. I'd love to hear your feedback, what you thought about the deck. If you want to take it out for a spin and let me know, that'd be great. But yeah, this was a quick video. This is what I was intending to take to my locals. I still want to play around with it more. I'd love to come up with a more developed sideboard. It's a little tough not seeing what else everyone has played. I've played against Omega Supreme and the Soundwave deck, both blue decks. I played against a version of Jetfire that was trying to run blue. Against blue decks, this thing just chews through them. It just doesn't care, which I think without how much black, that makes sense. I played against other, like a Siege Block Cars deck list that I think just didn't have the tools it needed to get the most out of its abilities. And I think this was just a much more reliable deck list. I had no problems winning there. Matches testing that I've lost, it can struggle against kind of a mixed or aggro-y Jetfire deck, just because Jetfire has access to Treasure Hunt, which is so strong. I imagine I haven't actually tested against, no one's built a Siege Block Galaxy Prime for me to test it against. But I could see there being a struggle there, just because Galaxy Prime's ability is very strong. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I don't know if it's a top tier Siege Block deck list, but I wasn't interested in taking the top tier constructed deck lists and playing them in Siege Block. I wanted to try more of the edge cases, the stuff that doesn't get as much play, and this was a lot of fun for me. So I hope you guys like the deck. Let me know if you enjoy it. There's a link down in the comments to a Fortress Maximus deck list. I think that should be this version. And I hope you all stay safe and have a great one. See ya!